started in just a moment, so feel free to continue grabbing your lunch. Just going to give you about a 1-minute warning before we get started here. So I'm going to ask everybody to stand for the Pledge of Allegiance before we start. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Please be seated. Welcome to our annual lunch. My name is Trish McFarland, and I'm president of the Delaware County Chamber of Commerce, and it's an honor to be able to be here in person with you this year. For an entire year, every business reimagined what their company looked like. Employees worked hard and adapted to new ways of doing business. We now must move forward to the next normal. Business as we knew it will never be the same. Good or bad, the pandemic environment is something that will be with us forever. We must celebrate our accomplishments, be proud of what we did, and figure out how to navigate the future. I'm honored to be president of your Chamber of Commerce because it is my privilege to convene and connect the leaders and trendsetters in every industry. Those people that are willing to share their knowledge and expertise to better their community. Today, you will hear from many of those leaders that have been the driving force of the Chamber's success. We are proud of the work we are doing and excited to share it all with you. And please, if you'd like to be more involved, reach out to any of our committee chairs, ambassadors, or staff, and we will be happy to help you maximize your investment with the Chamber. I'm also very honored to be able to present to you our sponsors for today, the sponsors that have stayed with us through these virtual hybrid events, and now as we're back in person, we really want to acknowledge their support because without them we wouldn't be here. TD Bank, Energy Transfer, Crozier Keystone, SAP, Bars, Gowie, Amon and Foltz, Brinker Simpson, LPL Financial, Independence Blue Cross, Meridian Bank, RCN, National Realty Corporation, Tomorrow's Utilities, Catholic Community Choir, and the Community YMCA of Eastern Delaware County. So it is now my honor to introduce the chair of our Chamber Board. Mike Rank is the president and CEO of the YMCA of Eastern Delaware County. Mike took the reins as chair beginning in July 2020. During the past year, Mike has overcome the COVID challenges that the YMCA faces, as well as guiding and leading the Chamber to make the right decisions for the entire community. I am so grateful for Mike's guidance and wisdom through these past 12 months, and I look forward to growing the Chamber even more in the next 12. Mike, if you can join me on stage.
Thanks, Trish, and as usual, when you introduce people, your words are way too kind. But I wanted to welcome everyone here today and just say how great it is to see so many faces in person. And for those of you that are virtual, we welcome you as well. Over the past year as chair, and my first year as chair at the Chamber, if you would have told me I'd be chair during a pandemic, I would have said you're crazy. But I learned a lot, and the Chamber staff and Trish in particular taught me a lot. But the biggest learning for me was just being the witness of how important our Chamber is to the community and to the business community, and how they are always working to unite the business community, to bring us together with a single voice, to be a resource, and to give us a place to connect. And this year, connecting virtually was probably the most important aspect of our success. During the COVID pandemic, the goal at the Chamber stayed the same and the Chamber became the primary resource in Delaware County to both its members and to the general public. As the shutdowns happened, the Chamber took the lead by sharing information being passed down from the governor's office to local businesses in our community. The Chamber gathered, consolidated, and shared that information in a way that made sense to us all. I have a saying at the Y, whenever any guidance came from the governor's office, it made things clear as mud. But the Chamber made it as clear as water. So whether the change was in legislation, surrounding business funding, a new program, or mitigation effort, the Chamber continued to be up to date on that information. Partnering with County Council and the Commerce Center and key stakeholders in the county, the Bringing Back Delco Task Force was created to share the best information for businesses to help guide and assist them and each other with the resources available. Connecting with people in Delaware County is at the heart of the Chamber's work. During the pandemic, the Chamber coordinated numerous invaluable events that many of you participated in, and the meetings that helped Delco businesses stay informed and helped us find order in all the chaos that was going on. Many of these events featured experts to help clarify and help us understand the rapidly changing rules. Since March 2020, the Chamber has convened 51 public events directly related to COVID, and believe it or not, at least triple that amount behind the scenes in doing the work. During the initial days of the pandemic, the Chamber provided lighthearted events such as Monday Motivation or Business Tip Tuesday that helped us stay positive and helped us focus on business even as our operations were forced to close. The Chamber helped salons and childcare centers share ideas with each other and assist each other in our needs. The monthly Business Owners Group, which is an original committee of the Chamber, continued virtually throughout the past year and helped to keep business owners connected and learning from each other. Monthly government affairs meetings, another original Chamber committee, kept members up to date of potential legislation affecting their businesses. These events and meetings were in addition to the Chamber's other usual non-COVID related Chamber virtual activities. That's a mouthful, say that. All the virtual activities brought together many business leaders in our community and helped us to continue to thrive. The Chamber and the Bringing Back Delco Task Force had to focus on reopening Delco. Even the pandemic didn't stop the Chamber team, and you heard Trish mention the team, and I'll mention it again, the fantastic Chamber team that we have here, from remaining committed to its core mission of serving as a resource hub for businesses and promoting growth and stability this past year. The Chamber assisted 2,000 businesses through pandemic relief efforts, attracted 71,000 visitors to the Chamber website and virtual platform, hosted 90+ virtual events, created a business and economic equity committee, tracked and advocated 937 different bills related to business, gained 74 new members, added 350 businesses to the Shop Eats Delco map, and distributed 2,250 PPE kits to local businesses in just 6 days. They hosted 12 ribbon-cutting events for new businesses that opened, and recorded 1,200 YouTube events for us to witness. So I want to circle back to one of the aha moments I had during this last year as chair. And we all have those aha moments from time to time, but my aha moment was really and truly learning and fully understanding what the chamber staff does and how dedicated they are to our businesses and our community. So from the chair standpoint, I'm going to ask you to help me demonstrate to our staff how much they are appreciated. Are the chamber staff who are here, could you please stand? They're standing. Yes. Most of them are standing. Yes. Join me in thanking them. They truly are amazing. There's another amazing group that helped Trish and helped the staff lead the chamber through this past year, and that's our board of directors. And at this time, I'd like to acknowledge them. Peter Adamo, Chief Executive Officer at Crozier Keystone Health System. Michelle Garrity, External Affairs Manager for Delaware County PICO. Amy Kate Mooney, Vice President and Executive Director of Catholic Community Choir. Mike Brady, Financial Consultant at LPL Financial. Jeffrey Brandon, SVP, Regional Vice President at TD Bank. Jim Byrne, our Solicitor. James Burkhead, Director of Transportation and Transportation Risk at NSM Insurance Group. Steve Byrne, the Executive Director at Visit Delco. Carl Churkin, Vice President, Business Development, Philadelphia Union. Nicole DeBaton Robinson, Vice President of Operations for National Realty Corporation. Deanna Doan, Treasurer and owner at Click Canyon. Mark Ernest, Vice President, Chief Relationship Officer, Franklin Mint Federal Credit Union. Brian Urey, Chief of Staff and Vice President of External Relations, Cabrini University. Jacqueline Gardner, Chamber Foundation Board Chair and Office Manager for Tomorrow's Utilities. Adam Gattuso, Government Affairs and Communications Leader, Monroe Energy. Grant Gegwich, Vice Chair of the Chamber Board, Director of Public Relations for Independence Blue Cross. Vince Gordon, President and CEO, Gordon Policy Group. William Gowie, CPA, Managing Partner, Bars, Gowie, Amon, and Foltz. Sue Handel, Chief Administrative Officer, Aqua, Pennsylvania. Joe McGinn, Vice President of Public Affairs, Energy Transfer. Anthony Ryan, Senior Vice President, Director of Small Business Banking, WSFS Bank. Dominic Savino, CEO, General Manager at Drexelbrook. And Robert Simpson, CPA Partner at Brinker Simpson. Please join me in giving them a round of applause. Unfortunately, at this event, there are some board members that we have to, as they say, rotate off the board because their term is up. And the two board members that I would like to acknowledge, one could not be here today, is Tom McCosey. And Tom is rotating off our board this year, and we wanted to thank him for his service. The second is a good friend and longtime chamber member, and one that we will not let go lightly, but Kathy Cardillo. Kathy, would you please come up? Both board members served long terms, and if you know them both, they work very hard on behalf of our community and our chamber, so we want to thank them again. Trish?
Don't leave yet. Not done with Mike yet. So in addition to everything else that Mike does that we just heard about, Mike has also been the chair of our nonprofit committee for the past number of years. So I'd like to thank and acknowledge Mike for his service as the nonprofit committee chair. I'm just going to share a little story about how, can I share the story? So we created the nonprofit committee because when Mike was first on the board, he kept saying to Ralph Sickles, who was then our chair, "What are you doing for nonprofits?" And Ralph said, "Oh, this is great. You can be the chair for the nonprofit committee that we just formed." So Mike took the reins on as the nonprofit chair, and it's extraordinary, but nonprofits are probably one of our largest percentages of membership, and it is no doubt in thanks to Mike's great leadership. So Mike is stepping down as nonprofit committee chair because he has so many things going on, but we're excited to welcome Mike Morgan as the incoming chair, and unfortunately Mike couldn't be with us today, but thank you for your service. I'd now like to recognize another outgoing committee chair who is still on the board, but Bill Gowie. Bill has been the chair of our business owners group, and as Mike Rank just mentioned, those monthly meetings were so important to many of our small business owners that weren't able to interact with anyone else during these last 15 months. And it really grew under Bill's leadership. So Bill's term as chair is ending, and we are so grateful for his leadership and guidance and support, and he's really helped to create the vision for the committee. Thank you for what you do. We're excited to welcome Mike Brady on as the next chair, but Bill is going to give you a little overview of what actually happens at the Business Owners Group.
Good afternoon. As Trish said, my name is Bill Gowie. I've been the chair for several years for the Business Owners Group, and we meet monthly, the second Wednesday of every month at 8:30, and it's a group of business owners that meet to discuss issues that they have. We try to work out with each other, try and give advice to each other, and we also acknowledge each member's accomplishments and try to help each other through all the struggles, and there were a lot of struggles the last year. But as I said, we meet monthly at 8:30, the second Wednesday of the month, so if you're interested in attending, please let myself or Mike Brady know. Thank you.
So now, for the next couple of folks we have coming up, these are key committee members, board members, and they chair our committees. So they're going to come up and they're going to give an overview about what we're doing, and if there's anything that interests you, please let one of us know, and we'd love to get you more involved. I'd now like to invite Brian Urey, who is the Chief of Staff and Vice President of External Relations for Cabrini University, and our liaison for our Government Affairs Committee. Brian.
Thank you, Trish. Good afternoon, everyone. I'm here to briefly encapsulate the 937 bills that were tracked by this chamber. Just kidding. I'll have to roll in the bars for that. So, Government Affairs Committee, I've been very fortunate to be part of this chamber for the past 15 plus years. When I first started with the chamber, we were looking at the impact of post 9/11 on the economy as a whole. We went through a global recession and now a pandemic. So as you can imagine, the pendulum that shifts from the federal government to the state government to the county government to a municipal level is constant and ever growing. And what this committee does is really actually act as the intersection between business and our elected officials. We have heard time and time again, and a lot of this is really on the shoulders of Trish and her staff for creating the relationships with elected officials. We do a phenomenal job of fighting through the toxicity of partisanship and really trying to place our elected officials in front of the people who are on the streets with the businesses, whether that's a large refinery or a small nonprofit or a corner store in Long Lane and Upper Darby. We have a very diverse membership. We meet once a month. And again, we do just roughly about 4 to 5 events during the year. We had a recent successful House event with elected officials from the House of Representatives. We have an upcoming one in the fall for the state Senate, and we have one next week for the county. So I encourage you to, if you're interested in creating these relationships and creating and expanding your network base with other government relation officers, please feel free to reach out to Trish or anyone on her staff, and we would welcome you with open arms. Thank you.
Thank you, Brian. I'd now like to invite Amy Kate Mooney, who is the chair of our Young Professionals Committee.
Good afternoon, everyone. As Trish said, my name is Amy Kate Mooney, and I'm the chair of the Young Professionals of the Delco Chamber. I've been involved with the YP since 2017 and have been serving in this role for the past 2 years. It's been a great experience to work together with the wonderful chamber team and the great group of young professionals through the years. When I joined the chamber in 2017, I remember very vividly sitting with Trish and her connecting me immediately with Jess. And as a result of that connection, I've had the opportunity to meet so many incredible young professionals as well as many other members of the chamber, most of you here today. We have a dedicated group that serve on our committee, and I know I see a couple familiar faces in the audience, so thank you for being here with us. Our vice chair is Adam Marone from LPL Financial. Our committee members who are listed on the slide, and many who are here, are Andrew Berry, Megan Armour, Danielle Eisinger, Kristen Gavin, Jamie Carezzi, Tom McGarrigle Jr., who I heard almost got a technical at the kickball tournament, Chris Pale, Nicole Straczynski, Christina Valero, and Cindy Yanone. The Young Professional Committee is designed to enrich the experiences of the county's young professionals. With the assistance of the committee, the Chamber hosts a wide range of events designed specifically for those 21 to 40 years old to help business professionals start and grow their own book of business. As everyone has gone through this challenging year, it's been a little bit quieter than normal, but we're ready and excited for all that's ahead. We recently had our first happy hour event, which was really well attended at the Media Townhouse, the new Media Townhouse, and our kickball tournament, which was quite eventful and competitive last week. From the famous annual kickball tournament to our roundtable educational leadership opportunities, we aim to provide an array of events that young professionals can benefit from. Although we are the young professionals, all are welcome to these events and encouraged to attend. By attending our events, you can maximize your membership, meet other members who will benefit from this, and most of all, have fun. If you have any questions, I'd be happy to answer them and hope to see you at our next Young Professional event. Thank you.
Thanks, Amy Kate. And if somebody was going to get a technical at a kickball event, I'm not sure if you ever heard of a professional kickball event or somebody getting a technical. Tom really did a nice job on that one. And now I'd like to introduce Jim Burkhead, who's the Director of Transportation Risk at NSM Insurance Group, who chairs our Veterans Committee.
Yeah, so the Veterans Committee, as implied, centers around veterans, and I think kind of the impetus behind it was that you see a lot of the employers in the area may have an interest in getting involved, helping veterans transition, providing careers, and you also have a very sizable veteran population in the area that are transitioning, that are thinking about that next step, that are looking to build a network. How do we bring everyone together, provide a few events during the course of a year where we can share some knowledge, share some good content, maybe have some more seasoned veterans, meet some younger veterans, build that network. One key aspect of it, though, it's called the Veterans Committee, but it is open to all. I think some of our events can provide some value and really share with anyone who's interested in building a professional business career. It's all about building a network, building bridges. So, we have a few events throughout the course of a year. Like everyone is mentioning, in the last year has been pretty interesting, the last 15 months really, in how we navigate this, how we throw events together. We've had a pretty wide range. Looking back to getting, I think, a lot of what we originally intended to build with this in September working on building a nice event for September. So my contact information, group information is on the website. Please reach out, get involved. I'm more than happy to build this thing with other people. And thank you.
So as we're sharing these committee chairs and they're coming up and they're telling their stories, sometimes, and one of the reasons that we're telling these stories is for you all to understand how relationships are built and how you become a leader at the chamber. Jim joined the chamber, I would say maybe 3 years ago. And he said, Trisha, can we meet? I want to get involved. I want to figure this out. Like, I want to give back to the community. And from that, we built this Veterans Committee. So it's not, a committee of board members that say, oh, we want to have this, we want to help veterans, it's a buzzword. This is truly an authentic committee of veterans, helping veterans in what they need the most. So Jim does not nearly give himself enough credit for what he does because he's very humble in what he's able to do. So I really appreciate Jim and him bringing that authentic leadership to our Veterans Committee, and thank you. Another authentic leader is Vince Gordon, who is one of my wisdom of every week, I would say. Vince is the president and CEO of Gordon Policy Group, and he is going to share with you a committee that we created this past year.
She gives me too much credit. Wisdom, wow. Wish my children would hear this, to hear that. Good afternoon, everyone. My name's Vince Gordon. I am the chair of the Business and Economic Equity Committee. This committee is the newest standing chamber committee, officially formed in July of 2020 of last year. And Mike and Trish approached me. I've been a chamber member, I believe, for about 4 years, active, involved in many of the events, and said, we need to do this. And I said, okay. But the chamber is not a social enterprise. The chamber is a business advocacy group, and I would only chair this if we stayed true to that mission. And I think with the leadership of Mike and Trish and the supporting chairs of the various committees, we've been able to do that. Those committee members include Mike Rank, Sue Handel, myself, Jacqueline Gardner, Lisa Brazzelli, Charles Johnson, Mike Karate, Amy Kate Mooney, Bill Gowie, and Jim Burkhardt. We have 3 goals. First is to encourage and support the hiring of a diverse employee base among businesses here in Delaware County. Second, to encourage and support the procurement of goods and services from small, diverse businesses in the Delaware Valley region. And third, which I think is really important, is to encourage Delco Chamber members to support organizations that champion business equity and inclusion. And this support could be in time, talent, or treasure. We meet the second Tuesday of each month, and if any of these goals excite you, I certainly encourage any chamber member, or more importantly, potential chamber member, to reach out to me or to Trish or any one of our committee members and join our committee. We just hosted 2 events, which I believe were well received. Sue Handel, I didn't see Sue here. I don't know, is Sue? She wasn't able to make it today. Sue, along with my colleague from Caritas, we held a panel discussion, which I thought went extremely well, and we provided during our second event the opportunity for small diverse businesses to be able to better understand how to access traditional financing as well as non-traditional financing. So many of the challenges that came up during this pandemic were really about small businesses, and I'm really all small businesses, but specifically small businesses of color, women-owned business, even some veteran-owned businesses, their inability to access services. And this is why I tell Trish all the time, it's so important that this chamber continue to be on the forefront of business advocacy. So if any of these things excite you, check out our website. I'm here, and thank you very much for this opportunity.
Vince and I have met a lot virtually over the past year. I think your kids know. I mean, they've come in, they probably heard my voice a lot. They know the wisdom you impart on them. Now I'd like to invite Deanna Doan, who is the owner of Click Canyon and the chair of our Women Leadership Committee. Deanna.
Hello, everyone. Good afternoon. As Trish said, my name's Deanna Doan, and I am the chair of this committee and also a board member, a very proud board member of the Delaware County Chamber. I think I was chosen, I've been a member of the Chamber for about 6 years, and I think I was chosen because I'm a women business owner up in Wayne, and Trish wanted to start this committee, and I was more than excited to be a part of it. It started as one luncheon, and we have developed into a committee and events that we host twice a year. I'm sure many of you have attended them, and we're really proud of what we've developed over 4.5 years now. Our events have focused on everything from entrepreneurship to our most recent one, which was the C-suite, and getting back to what we consider the next normal. And we've had women in positions in higher ed and who've developed nonprofits, and they have shared insight and inspiration with our attendees and members. We're looking forward to developing even more, especially the Professional Women's Committee. So I see a lot of women out here. We would welcome your to join our committee and to give us some ideas on new topics that we might do. And so if you're interested, please reach out to me. I'd love to meet more members here in the chamber. And one more thing, we do not have a traditional meeting time like other committees do, but we may look to do that as things start to get more in person in the fourth quarter. So again, if you have any ideas, would like to be part of the committee, please reach out to me.
You always ask the busy people to be the chairs of your committees because they don't say no and they make it happen. Deanna is the president of the Wayne Business Association in addition to everything else she does, so she's been very busy this past year. I would now like to introduce Lisa Frizella, who is Vice President of Business Development for Monarch Staffing and the chair of our Ambassador Committee. We should have music for Lisa. Sorry. Sorry.
Awesome. Good afternoon, or in my best Mayor of Easttown, good afternoon. As Trish mentioned, my name is Lisa Frizella, and I am the VP of Business Development at Monarch Staffing, right here in Springfield, Delaware County. Monarch Staffing has been a member of the Chamber since its inception in 2001. So yes, we are celebrating 20 years in business this year. Matter of fact, this week, our party's tomorrow night. And have been a Chamber member all that time. I've been involved with Monarch for 13 years, so have been a Chamber member all that time as well. I also currently serve as the chairperson for the Ambassadors Committee of the Chamber. Committee involvement is an excellent way to get involved with the Chamber. It allows you to network, to gain exposure, and to be heard. Chamber ambassadors are volunteers from the committee, or from the community, that serve as welcome committees. You saw some of us at the registration table today. We help to identify and recruit potential members, and we act as liaisons between the Chamber staff and the Chamber members. To get the most out of your Chamber membership, I encourage you to get involved. And getting involved can be something as simple as attending events such as this, the virtual events as well, or joining a committee. The more people see you, the more they will remember you and your business. And I'd just like to say, on behalf of Monarch, worked with several of the businesses here in the county, and we so appreciate your business and value you as clients, and we look forward to working with you into the future as well. I'd like to take the time now to thank our wonderful ambassadors for all their hard work. If you're here when I announce your name, if you want to stand up, jump around, that would be great. But be recognized for your amazing contributions to the Chamber. Anton Delorfus with Delightful Detail, Barb Palmore with WSFS Bank, Bridget Moran with First Resource Bank, Kathy and Ed Carroll with Payroll Vault, Cindy Jacobson with FNB Corporation, Clara Burke with Franklin Mint Federal Credit Union, Kathleen Serrano Vasco with Janney Montgomery Scott, Patty Duffy with USA Payroll, Randy Prince with TD Bank Group, and Sue Yulo with Granny's Helping Hands. So thank you for all your hard work. If you're interested in joining, come and see me. Enjoy the day.
Lisa's singing the Rocky music in her head as she goes down. And now it's very clear why Lisa chairs our ambassador committee. Our ambassadors are the face of the chamber, and the energy that Lisa brings to the chamber and to the committee is just, you can't get it anywhere else. So Lisa, thank you for your leadership. So now I'd like to move on to the next portion of our program. We're going to go to the Lifetime Achievement Award. The Lifetime Achievement Award is presented annually to a person who is dedicated and committed to their family, their committee, their community, and profession. To say today's honoree exemplifies this is an understatement. Since I first began my career at the Chamber in 2003, Al Danish has been a driving force in Delaware County, a steady, calm, and focused leader that was the quiet voice behind so many advancements in the county. I'd like to introduce Mike Brady from LPL Financial to introduce this incredible award.
Al's always one step ahead of me. I had a complete roast ready for him, and then he brought his grandchildren to the event. And so we can turn the page on the roast because, again, he's one step ahead. You know, when Adam brought to my attention the idea that he wanted to nominate Al for this award, I started to look back into the Chamber's history because I was like, surely Al received this award. This is him. And I'm looking back and I'm like, oh my goodness, no, he has not. This award was designed specifically for Al Danish. He's achieved so much. He's helped so many. He's supported multiple organizations, done business the right way, helped raise a beautiful family with his incredible wife, Mary Ann, and continues to give of himself in a very active and decent way. I have some highlights in case you haven't scanned the QR code at your table and read through the bio. So smart decisions for Al started at a very young age when he went to St. James in Chester, like I did, and some of our past recipients did. Not like he had a choice, but I do know that a lot of the education that Al got at St. James has been a guiding force in his decision making, in family, in his business, and it comes through in pretty much everything he does. Al has truly given his life to service to a handful of organizations that he continues to be passionate about. In 1976, he was elected the youngest mayor in Pennsylvania in the borough of Chester Heights. And Al can politic with anyone, anywhere, and do so in a manner that is respectful and authentic. The American Red Cross welcomed him as a board member and chair in 2004, and he even served on the board during the time following the attacks of 9/11. Here at the Delco Chamber, he's won every award possible, except this one. He's held almost every board position that was designed, and was even the chairman of not only the Chamber Board, but the Foundation Board at some point. Delaware County Workforce Development has been a big passion project for Al. His time on the board as chair and service to the county has spanned 3 executive directors. His energy with the current direction and activity comes through in his desire to help employers find great employees in Delaware County and helping Delaware County residents get great jobs. Al's love for ice hockey has led him to being the high school commissioner for 3 states. His passion started right here a long time ago, and I recall playing right across this parking lot in the Springfield THL League where Al was all the time. It's incredible. His professional career started in sales and over time converted more to like consulting. Each piece had a sales component, but his true passion was always helping people have success. This manifested itself in the financial services industry and spanned nearly 3 decades inside the insurance and investment business. Although I must say, I love talking about his time in the toy industry because I grew up a huge wrestling fan, and Al has some awesome, awesome stories from his years selling for those toy companies and meeting and having to hang out and spend time with different wrestlers. Lots of great stories there. We're truly blessed to have Al, usually for a few hours a day, for a few days a week in our office, sharing his wisdom and working on some shared clients and cases. So much of what I went over can be found in Al's bio, which has that along with a whole bunch of other details. The bio won't tell you about the person and profound impact Al has had on the lives of people here in Delaware County, and especially younger business people like me. Al's gentleman-like demeanor and steady hand has stood the test of time. His ability to connect through storytelling is a lost art. The world, our county, and our business community needs more Al Danishes. Please welcome Albert Danish.
Wow. That's a tough way to follow up, but I appreciate it extremely well. Thank you, Michael. Good afternoon, everyone. This is certainly a very special day for me, my family, and my friends, and I thank them all for being here today. I've had a couple of weeks to think about what a Lifetime Achievement Award is, and the continued question keeps popping up, why me? What did I do? Well, I came to a very simple conclusion over that course of time, that, ladies and gentlemen and children, you have the pleasure of meeting the luckiest man in the world, and that's my claim to fame. I started life by being dropped at the doorstep of St. Christopher's Hospital and left for adoption, which really made me special from the sense that I had two mothers. I had one that gave me up because she loved me, and I had one that adopted me, that gave me all the values and all the precious things in life that I hold dear. So there started my luck and continued. My dad was a real hardworking guy, a Delco guy. He had 3 jobs. He worked at Saturday Evening Post in Sharon Hill. He worked for the Upper Darby School District. And my favorite place is he worked at the Bazaar of All Nations in Clifton Heights. And I remember going into Mel's pet shop on a Saturday afternoon and helping him work and work there. So the values that my mom and dad gave me stuck with me forever. Hard work and the love of people, and just be nice to people and smile. My sister Cheryl grew up in the same environment. She graduated from Widener along with her husband Waz. Both live in Delaware County, and I tease them all the time that they live out by the Bethel Mall. She worked her way through Widener, and I'm extremely proud of her. Joining organizations, as Mike mentioned, has always been my privilege and my way of hopefully giving back to the community. The Red Cross was a very special organization to be part of, and through the whole 9/11 tragedy, I learned how people can come together, can help other communities, can raise money, and can offer services and people to make things a little bit better. My time at the Chamber was memorable. I had the pleasure of working alongside of one of Delco's longtime icons, Jack Holfelder, who was president at that point, and my great friend and mentor, Joe Glowacki. I am proud to be currently involved in 2 exciting organizations in Delaware County. One, of course, as Mike mentioned, is the Delaware County Workforce Investment Board. through the leadership of Kate McGeever, we are going to be able to accomplish so many things in the coming years. And when I hear folks like the Veterans Committee or even young professionals, that those are the kind of things that we can offer their help by getting them involved, because our goal there is very simple. Find people great jobs and find employers great people. And we can do that very aggressively. So before you leave here today, make sure you know who Kate is, because she runs that organization very effectively. The other one is very near and dear to my heart, and that's the Intercounty Scholastic High School Hockey League. I've been involved with that for over 25 years because both of my sons, and now my granddaughter and grandson, are all hockey players. And that gets me involved with a lot of different people as commissioner. And with that, between 67 teams in the league and over 1,000 players, which gives you about several thousand parents, grandparents, aunts, and uncles, I interact with a lot of people on an annual basis, and I love every minute of that. I've enjoyed several fantastic careers in my life, as Mike mentioned. I was in the retail store operation for a while. I got into investment in the insurance world, and I found that working with people was a lot of fun and gave you a lot of benefits. Currently with LPL Financial and my good friends there, Mike, Rachel, Adam, and Lenny. I thank you for coming today, and I appreciate all that you've done for me. But the luckiest guy in the world did have a phenomenal job, and that was working in the toy industry. And I don't care what any of you do, there's no more fun than that. Because what you do is you spend all your days trying to figure out the mind of a 6-year-old. And sometimes it works, and sometimes it doesn't. And I will tell you, like everything in life, most of the time it doesn't. Some of the greatest toy inventions I ever saw didn't make it to the store because when we got to a focus group of young children, boys and girls, they went, nah. I'm sorry to say that some of those focus groups included my son Brian. And I would bring home some of the neatest things in the world, and he would look at it and go, nah, I don't think so, Dad. Of which I then had to fly back to Minnesota and tell him, it ain't gonna work, guys. I started being a shelf stocker for Kitty City and Toys R Us, and ended up being the senior vice president of sales. It was a great career and a great opportunity for a company that when I started was a $30 million toy truck company, and when I ended was a $1 billion toy conglomerate in both the toy and the video game business. What a ride. But a kid from Aston during that process ended up having lunch with Sam Walton one day in Bentonville, Arkansas. And we got into a heated discussion, much to the fear of the 15 people from his organization who was sitting there with us, over WWF wrestling. Because Mr. Walton was an avid wrestling fan. And WrestleMania was that following weekend. And we got into an intense argument over who was going to win, Hulk Hogan or Andre the Giant. Now, I did have an advantage because I just sold his store 100,000 Hulk Hogan dolls. But he was adamant that the big giant Andre was going to win. He's not, Mr. Walton, I'm sorry. And I could see the blood draining out of all his associates' faces. Nobody argued with Sam Walton. A couple weeks later, I got a small note from him simply saying, okay, you were right. The kid from Aston also got invited to the General Motors International Truck Annual Meeting, where thousands of their dealers were sitting in a stage just like this. And they brought me up and introduced me as the largest truck salesperson in the world. And they put up statistics that said I sold 1 million trucks. They didn't tell them it was for Tonka. And I had to live that down that night at the cocktail hour, that everybody was a little ticked off that I kind of showboated a little bit. But it was fun, and Tonka was a great experience. I had a mother one time send me a letter thanking me that her son was able to take a pound puppy to St. Jude's Hospital with him as he battled leukemia. And that was probably one of the richest experiences I had, that they felt so strong about something that I was part of, and I thanked them. Yes, I've been very, very lucky. But most of my motivation has come from my son, my daughter-in-law Dallas, my grandkids, my son Eric and his fiancee Katie, because they make every day very, very special, and I thank them. But when is two not better than one? And that's kind of how I live my life. My best friend and spouse is not here today. We've been married for 47 years, and yesterday she had her first chemo treatment. And she's doing well. She's watching. And no accomplishments in my life, no events, nothing I've ever achieved has not been with her at my side or kind of urging me or pushing me along. So I accept this word, but it's mostly hers too. You speak about accomplishments. Here's a woman that loves her job. She works at Ice Works in Aston. Her co-workers, Stefan, Lisa, and Anthony are here. Anthony, by the way, is the biggest Sixer fan in this room. And she's been doing this job for 22 years. And in it, she sees over 20,000 boys and girls playing ice hockey each year. Now, of those 20,000, there's probably another 50,000 parents, grandparents, aunts, and uncles that come in, scream, holler, yell, and love every minute of being there. It's a fun place. My estimation is that she, in 22 years, has put over 1 million smiles on people's faces. That's an accomplishment. That's a life achievement from that standpoint. Everyone over the last several weeks have said to us both, what can I do to help? What can I do? What do you need? Well, we don't need a lot of things, thank God. We're very, very well fortunate in our life. But I need your little help today, and it's something that each of you can take 10 seconds and be a part of for me. If each of you at some point could take out your cell phone and just simply text to her, there's her number, I hope is on there now, to Mary Ann. And what we'd like to see, if you can, is send us a picture of your family with smiles. And that would make us very, very happy. Mary Ann and I and our family will share this award, and we thank you. Have a great summer, and thank you all very much.
I almost made it through without crying. I said to Mike, I'm going to do this. Mike Brady before, I said, I can do this. I couldn't do it. Thank you, Al. Okay. So now, I would like to move on to the foundation board for the chamber. And I would like to recognize Jacqueline Gardner, who is our outgoing foundation chair. To say that Jacqueline has completely elevated and transformed the foundation of the Delaware County Chamber is an understatement. As Jacqueline ended her Leadership Delaware County class 6 years ago, I think, she reached out and asked how she could be more involved. I was excited to invite her to be on the foundation board, and that was the first year I was ending as chamber as president. So I had my own vision for the foundation, but I knew I needed the right leaders in place to help me achieve that goal. So over the last 5 years, with Jacqueline's guidance and leadership, we have elevated the foundation to be the premier leadership resource for professionals in Delaware County. There is no doubt that she's the driving force behind this. And 2 years ago, as Jacqueline was taking over as chair, about to have her third child, we were excited for the opportunities to grow, but had no idea what was in store and how the foundation would be completely transformed through no planning of our own. One of Jacqueline's first meetings as board chair, she had 2 of her 3 children with her, one of them just being a few weeks old, and not as excited to be at a board meeting as we were. So I took a picture of Jacqueline running the meeting while rocking her newborn, who was a little bit fussy. She's a force to be reckoned with, determined, dedicated, organized, and a true leader in every sense of the word. Jacqueline is quick to give credit to everyone else, but there's absolutely no doubt that she has exceeded all expectations while helping us to be better leaders. Thank you for being a true example of what it means to be a professional working mother and helping me to strive to be a better mom and leader. You'll continue to see Jacqueline as a familiar face through the chamber, as she'll be our Government Affairs Vice Chair, as well as leading our Membership Renewal Committee. So I'm so grateful for you, your leadership and friendship, and congratulations on a job well done.
Hello, good afternoon. I'm very emotional, so if I cry, it's not from anything I'm saying, I'm still thinking about your speech, so that's just who I am as a person, and I like to put it out there. Trish, thank you for the great introduction. I'm gonna jump right in about the foundation. The Foundation of Delaware County Chamber of Commerce is a 501c3 nonprofit. Our mission is to strengthen the Delaware County community. We have 3 bullets of how we would hope to accomplish this. We want to launch leaders, inspire careers, and empower individuals. Back when we created our mission, probably 2 years ago, we also came up with a vision for our future growth. That vision is that the foundation will be Delaware County's premier career and leadership resource center. There's a couple different ways on how we accomplish this as a board. We do it via our programs, whether it's Leadership Delaware County, Youth Leadership Academy, the Career Awareness Program, or Magnifying Manufacturing. We do it really with our people. And at this time, I would like to recognize some board members. I believe a few are here, and I think they're also up on the screen. Ann Logan from Vanguard, Peter Bars, Lou Caldemal, Clara Burke, Laura Casper, Larry Setlin, Cecile Charlton, Anton Del Orfelice, Brent Doan, Dion Douglas, Patty Duffy, Tom McGarrigle Jr., he does not get technicals at our board meeting, Ro Falcone, I knew I was going to mess this one up, Kasachian, Donna Maradola, Christy Parnell, Mitch Steed, and Mike Morgan. Without this group of individuals, the success that I'm going to talk about that the foundation had would not be possible. We also do it with our partners. The Delaware County Workforce Development Board helps us to put on most of our programs. We have great support from them, and we couldn't do it without them. Holcomb Behavioral Health, Delaware County Community College, Newman University, EDSI, and all of our program sponsors, which I'll talk a little bit later about. And then there's a 4th way that we do it that's kind of the variable, right? It's opportunity. We do it all through opportunity, whether it's through the people in this room, our board, the different opportunities they bring to us, or our partners. So it was funny, this morning I was checking my email and I got an email from Springfield School District, which is where I live, my daughter goes to school. And the superintendent sent an email about opportunity. So I just thought it was very fitting. And he said that there are no promises, only opportunities, was the opening line of his email. And that's how I feel like we approached the last year. Nothing was a given. Each opportunity is an avenue for us to grow and open doors for the next chapter, both professionally and personally. A key component of a strong leader is taking advantage of these opportunities, not only for themselves, but for those coming behind them. And that is why I got involved with the foundation. Not only to help myself grow professionally and personally, but also provide those opportunities to others within my community. I am Delaware County born and raised. I went to St. Dorothy's, I attended Cardinal O'Hara, I left briefly to go to Westchester, but I was never far. My entire family are residents of Delaware County, and why I tell you this is because I want to show that I'm truly vested in not just the foundation, but the chamber and all of our success. My brother is an assistant DA, my husband and brother-in-law are Upper Darby police officers, my father's business is based in Delaware County, and all of my nieces and nephews go to school here. I am a true Delcolorian, if you will. I think I made that word up. And most important to me is I do have a ton of nieces and nephews. So the youth is really what got me when I talked to Trish about the foundation and how we could help. I started my career in sports, so I've come a long way. 17 years ago, working at the Wells Fargo Center, to now helping my father run his utility business. But each stage in my career was presented with an opportunity, whether it was going to work for free in high school at the Wells Fargo Center, or leaving my career and starting with my father before I started my family. Attending Leadership Delaware County was the best opportunity that could have happened to me when I left my career. Because of Trish and I's conversation, I joined the foundation board in 2016. 5 years later, along with the 3 kids Trish mentioned, I'm standing here before you today. So a little bit about what we do. Remember, our vision is to be the premier resource for career and leadership in the county. We provide the opportunities to the county, you, the business leaders of the community, professionals, and our students. Our program are a success because of our board and volunteers, but also due to the majority of the people in this room who believe in what we're doing, and they send their employees to our programs or help us recruit a student for YLA. They participate in our career awareness program and sponsor our events. You are providing these opportunities and helping us become this resource center that we're striving to build. So quick recap, as Trish mentioned, we ended the 2019-20 year. The day after our March board meeting, we had to cancel the last 3 Leadership Delaware County in-person sessions. We made a quick switch to virtual, hoping that in the fall we would be back up and running with our normal program. We canceled the youth leadership program, something that was very hard for us to do, but just knew it wasn't the right time. As the restrictions continued and we headed into the fall, we knew we didn't want to sit back and cancel another program that we offered. Our amazing board got to work virtually, never in person. And we began to look at our program with a fresh perspective, and we got moving to pivot the programs and allow for continued success and growth. One of the ways we really did this was go back to our business community with roundtables and focus groups to be sure that we were delivering what everyone needed. So quickly, I'm going to go through our 3 programs that we offer and how we have grown in the last year despite COVID and all the restrictions. Leadership Delaware County is for our working professionals. In previous years, we would host anywhere from 30 to 34 professionals, and they would meet once a month for 9 months. We had a moderator, Michelle Martin, and what she would do is she broke the curriculum up into 9 different components. Each month we would focus on a different area of leadership, whether it was what does it mean to be a leader, to the value of civic engagement as a leader, and learning as leaders. We went around to different companies within Delaware County, such as SAP, AmeriHealth Caritas, and the Franklin Mint, and many others. So people got to get out and see what Delaware County really had to offer. Prior to the fall, we had a virtual focus group, as I mentioned, with companies, a lot of you sitting in this room. From this, we were able to decide that if we pivoted and created a virtual session that wasn't as long as a commitment but had a relevant topic, we could still find success. And that's exactly what we did. With our committee chair, Ann Logan, and our moderator, Michelle Martin, we were able to come up with a topic and curriculum that was absolutely necessary for the time: resilient leadership. We were able to offer the program in the fall, and I call it the winter because we finished up at the end of March. And it was a 6-week program. The fall program was only an 8-hour commitment, and our winter program, based on feedback from the fall, we extended it and ended up being a 12-hour commitment over the 6 weeks. We had 27 participants in the fall and 15 participants in the winter. In total, we were able to see 42 professionals attend our virtual Leadership Delaware County this program. So 30 to 42. Despite all that was thrown against us, we were able to grow the program this year. I would like to thank our partners, the companies that continually support this program, and all of our committee members and our moderator, Michelle Martin. As we look forward to next year, we hope to be able to host Leadership Delaware County and take what we learned with the virtual program and make it bigger and better with in-person meetings and hopefully some virtual programs as well. Youth Leadership Academy is typically a 3-day program that is held at Newman University for high school sophomores. The students are again guided by our moderator, Michelle Martin, on various exercises and discussions about leadership. We have various panels with business leaders from the community, whether it be nonprofit, government, entrepreneurs, and this is where the kids love. They just love to talk to everyone, and they love to get feedback and ask the questions. How did you get there? It's amazing to watch them go through these panels. It's capped off each year with a graduation at night with their parents and the people from school that maybe recommended them for the program. The kids are put in small groups with people they've never met before, and in those 3 days put together a presentation on leadership. It's amazing to watch what they do. Well, since we canceled 2020, in early 2021, we went back to those stakeholders of the counselors at school, and we said to them, it's unique for you. How can we help you? They have to hit milestones. They have to give the kids the career readiness. So what we did was we went back to the students and their parents and said, who would be willing to attend a virtual session? We were a little concerned that with being on Zoom for the last year and a half, there'd be some Zoom fatigue and we wouldn't get the participation, but we did. We had a goal of 13 students, and we got 25 from 14 different schools. A few schools, I'm happy to report, we were never able to get to attend YLA in the past. We were able to offer the typical program just condensed to 2 days. And we were able to keep the kids engaged. We mailed them all their things prior to the program. They had their t-shirts, and they even got gift cards so that they had lunch each day of the program. And instead of their Ignite presentations at graduation, we went back to them and they did TikToks. So it was very interesting. I have no idea what TikTok is. I don't have it on my phone. So I kept trying to imagine how this would work. I would watch some and I was like, I don't understand how they're gonna do this. But they did a great job. And they were really resilient. Typically, this program, I'm there for the 3 days and I'm able to see the students, but we wanted to keep it as adult-free as possible. So I only got to participate the one day after their panel and see their feedback. And to see the level of engagement and the excitement that these students had was just amazing. And we knew that it was a nice break for them from their normal schedules. So again, we were able to see a ton of success with YLA. We have to thank our moderator, Michelle Martin, our chair, Christy Parnell, and the committee members who did a miraculous job of getting these students to commit, our partners, the Workforce Development Board, Holcomb Behavioral Health, Newman University, and then our sponsors, Energy Transfer, EDSI, SAP, Trinity Health, Mid-Atlantic Mercy Catholic Medical Center, Mercy Fitzgerald Campus, Tomorrow's Utilities, Monroe Energy, Catholic Community Choir, Bars, Gowie, Amon, and Fultz. Just real quick to also give credit to some of our panelists, we were able to have on the first day a panel from L.com. Michelle Martin, our moderator's daughter, is the director, digital director and deputy editor. She was able to pull in some of her team and engage the students. It was amazing to watch. And then the second day, our panel was made up of Delco leaders. We had Alex Christie from Senator Kearney's office, Kalia Deborah, who is a life and transitional coach, Judy Stanton, the Assistant Vice Principal of Development and Alumni Relations at Newman University, Amani Bun, who is the Senior HR Business Partner at SAP, and Trina Alba, the Chief Medical Officer at Mercy Catholic Medical Center. Looking forward, we hope that in the spring of 2022, we're able to be back at Newman University with our 3-day program. So there's our ask. If you know of a sophomore coming into the school year, or you have one yourself, please reach out or look for our application that'll come out in early 2022 so we can keep growing and improving the program for these students. Our final program I wanted to talk about was career awareness. Typically, this is held at Delaware County Community College, and we can host 300 to 400 students, which is a great number of students from the county to come. We have an exhibit hall style where businesses come, they talk to the students about what their job entails, how they got there. Then we also do in-person panels as well. We always have a great turnout and participation from the school and business community. We went again to the high schools in the fall and said, what do you need and how can we help you? And they needed the program. We partnered with EDSI, and with the excellent work of Jacqueline and Kenny at the Chamber, we were able to pull all the information together and get an online platform to send out to the students to participate. It was again built around the exhibit hall model, and it was based on career clusters. This is something that a lot of the local high schools utilize for the students. They took a survey before they started the program, and it highlighted 3 career paths that would be beneficial for them. Once they got in the platform, they went to those career clusters, and others if they wanted to, and watched the videos from the professionals in the Delaware County community. We enlisted the help of our usual exhibitors, but we were also able to get new people on board as well to provide us with videos. Not only did they talk about their industry and their career paths and what they needed to have behind them to get into those careers, but many told a personal story of growth. And this is really where I think the students gained the most. We're excited to report that by the end of this year, we will have 4,500 Delaware County High School students participate in the virtual career program. That's amazing. When we typically only see 400, we're now at 4,000. I can't thank enough Kathy Cardillo and all the members of our committee that made this happen. A very special thank you to Jacqueline and Ken at the Chamber for all the hard work of building the platform, and EDSI for putting it together for us. Once again, we partner with the Workforce Development Board, Holcomb Behavioral Health, and Delaware County Community College. Our sponsors include Energy Transfer, EDSI, SAP, Trinity Health, Mid-Atlantic, Mercy Catholic Medical Center, Mercy Fitzgerald Campus, Monroe Energy, Catholic Community Choir, Bars, Gowie, Amen, and Foltz, and all the businesses that provided videos. And thank you to all the school counselors, principals who provided us with feedback to build this program and for sending their students through. Looking forward, we hope to be back in person at Delaware County next year at some point and to get back to the panel in-person discussions. But we are really looking forward to the ability to continue this online and touch as many students as possible in the county. So how can you get involved? We're still always looking for videos. If you would like to provide one to get posted on the platform for the students that we'll go through in the fall, please reach out to myself or Jacqueline Miley from the Chamber. I know I talked a lot about our programs with the foundation, but I would be remiss if I didn't mention that we also have a governance committee. We created it about 1.5 years ago. The committee is led by Brent Doan from Click Canyon. Him and the committee have done a lot of important work to be sure that our policies and board are set up for continued growth and success with clear frameworks and plans for the future. So thank you, Brent. I'm so proud of the work that the foundation was able to produce this year without ever meeting once in person. I'm so excited to see what the future holds. Before I close, I'd like to thank Trish and the Chamber for the wonderful opportunity of being part of the foundation and helping us grow this past year. And to Jacqueline Miley, none of this success would happen without you. You are truly the foundation's rock. In closing, we do have one board member whose, I will say, term has come to an end, but still I'm sure will be involved, and that's Laura Casper. I think I saw her. Okay, there she is. Laura, do you want to come up? Laura, we truly appreciate all the work and time that you have dedicated to the foundation and all of our programs. You will be missed.
Just for a quick picture.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I'll be done in 1 minute. So as I close out my time as chair, I'm thrilled to announce that Ann Logan will be stepping up as the chair of the foundation. Ann is the Senior Manager of Executive Development and High Potential Talent Development at Vanguard. Ann has been a driving force behind all of our success, and I cannot wait to assist her during her years as chair of the foundation. She brings a wealth of knowledge and experience, and I have no doubt that after her term at the foundation, we will be the premier resource for career and leadership in the county. And the foundation will be working to develop a new vision for the future. So Ann, if you could come up. I just had to pass the gavel to you. There you go, so now it's official. So that's all I have. I'll turn it back over to Trish, but I will say go Sixers if they win tonight.
Thank you so much. So now I'm thrilled to introduce Christopher Cullum, the CEO of Mercy, for our Youth in Excellence Award presentation.
Good afternoon. Mercy Catholic Medical Center recognizes that youth are our future. As a partner with the foundation of the Delaware County Chamber of Commerce, it gives me great pleasure to present the Youth in Excellence Awards. We wanted to recognize distinguished youth for their hard work, dedication, and perseverance among so many challenges they are facing today. Our goal is to celebrate student achievement and the power of leadership, as well as to encourage Delaware County high school students to become better prepared to take on future leadership opportunities. Our future depends so much on the next generation of individuals who are willing to accept this challenge. It is my distinct honor today to recognize 3 of these outstanding individuals for their service and commitment in the Youth Leadership Academy. First, I would like to recognize Andrew Foster V from Chichester High School. Andrew, if you could come to the stage. Next, I would like to recognize Sydney Gowie from Cardinal O'Hara High School. Sydney, can you come up? And last but not least, I would like to recognize Aiden Gallo from Upper Darby High School for his achievements. Aiden and his family are traveling today, so they're joining us virtually, but many congratulations to you, Aiden. We'll give him a round of applause as well. Congratulations to all of the awardees.
Thank you so much. And it's so exciting to have such a great energy in the room and enthusiasm for the future. I'd like to invite Anthony Ryan from WSFS Bank to introduce our keynote speaker.
Good afternoon. I'd like to welcome a veteran, an entrepreneur, and a father. Thomas DiPietro was born and raised right here in Delaware County, up the street in Drexel Hill. He served active duty for 8.5 years and became part of the 75th Ranger Regiment, the U.S. Army's premier large-scale special operations force, and is made up of some of the most elite soldiers in the world. He was deployed in countries like Iraq, Afghanistan, Honduras, and Suriname. He's a graduate of the U.S. Army Airborne School, the U.S. Army Expert Infantry Course, and the USA SOC Master Breacher. He's also the recipient of other various awards pertaining to leadership and physical fitness. He continued his excellence in his civilian life as well. He's married to his wife Megan, and they have a daughter, Olivia, and a dog, Charlie Berger. He graduated top of his class in the National Personal Trainers Institute. He is a USA weightlifting and powerlifting sports performer, coach, and a strong first kettlebell strength and conditioning coach. He's the owner and operator of Fort Delco Gym in Holmes, who Charlie Berger is the face of. It's my pleasure to introduce Thomas DiPietro.
Good afternoon, everybody. I feel very privileged and honored to have been asked to speak here today. Thank you, Jacqueline, so much. Thank you, everybody. I'm going to start this off with a couple things, and then it'll circle back around, and I'll end it with it. And I'd just like to say in this precedence, family, community, integrity, accountability, and optimism. So I'll set that foundation with me speaking to you on that. So family first always. And it's real interesting. When I got invited to speak here, I got told that my kindergarten school teacher was going to be here, Mrs. Judge. So I'll start right there. I was born and raised in Drexel Hill, St. Charles Parish, St. Charles Street. I used to run down the street to be the first one there, try and carry her book bag so I could get a little principal's homework pass. You know, I tried to be the first one at school every day, a little short, fat Italian kid. My mom was my best friend. Third grade, 8 years old, started playing football. I was told I was fat and had no idea what was going on. I just showed up. I got put on Slim Fast. I drank 2 cans a day, and I ate a bowl of pasta and meatballs. I lost 10 pounds, became a part of the team. It was pretty cool. So that started some little regiment and discipline and shaking things off. It was a tough little August in 1993, being 8 years old. All right. So a couple of years later, I found out that my parents found out that there was a Drexel Hill Raiders football team. So I joined the Drexel Hill Raiders, and I met an amazing man. He was my coach. His name was Bob Scholl. He's actually a St. James alumnus as well. And he taught me what enthusiasm meant. And he set that strong foundation in me, that definition. And he made me realize that your actions and how you carry yourself come from within you. You have to find something within you. So from about 1995, that carried on up until in high school. I went to Upper Darby at first, and then I transferred to Bonner. I always loved St. Charles, and then I transferred over to public school when I was about in like 5th grade. When I was in Bonner, that's when 9/11 kicked off. And then immediately when I was 17 years old, I knew immediately that I was going to sign the dotted line and go fight the next year. That was in 2001. 2002 was my senior year. 2003, I graduated after playing some football and some rugby, and I went straight into the Army. So right out of high school, 18 years old, from St. Charles Street. That's about it. The short little fat kid, the slim fast guy. So now we're in the war on terror. I'm a combat medic. I became a combat medic. I went straight over to Germany for 2 weeks, and then 2005, 2006, I spent 12 months in Iraq. That was very interesting. I taught people combat lifesaver. We were doing missions from Baghdad down to Kuwait, transferring prisoners all over the place. I worked in Baghdad ER in the trauma section. So I got a lot of fast experience when I was 20 years old, turning 21, in a combat war zone. Always kept in good relations with my family and friends during that time, especially at the YMCA. I lied about my age when I was in 6th grade so I can get a membership at the YMCA. And then later on in high school, I lied about my age so I could get a job there too. But I always kept in touch with everybody. My heart always stayed back in Delaware County, St. Charles, Drexel Hill, back home. My entire career up to that point, I was 5 years in, I got promoted. I was living very fast, 18 to 22, and I was leaving Germany. Now I was assigned in Virginia, and there I was a trauma specialist on a boat, and I was doing deployments down to Guantanamo Bay in Cuba, Honduras, Suriname. I was working with NASA down in Cape Canaveral, all a bunch of medical stuff, and that whole time people are telling me, hey, you should become a Ranger, you should become a Green Beret. And the thought was there a little bit, and then I met a man, his name was Stan Wood. He was a pilot. He was in Somalia, Black Hawk Down, and if you ever saw the movie. He was one of the pilots that didn't get shot down in that. When I met him, he said, hey, you should become a Ranger. You should go to 75th. Now, in my mind at that point, I'm 5 years in the Army. They're the premier door kickers in the U.S. Army. So they're kind of like the Chicago Bulls of the war on terror, and everybody in the military knew it at that point. Right? If everyone was going to say, what was the spearhead of the war on terror? everyone will tell you it's the 75th Ranger Regiment. Not some Navy, like, we're not saying everybody doesn't do everything, but if you're gonna ask anybody anything, they'll tell you that answer. So I asked my mom, I called her up, and I said, I think I'm gonna become a Ranger. I think I'm gonna switch and go infantry. I'm gonna try this hard route. What do you think? And she said, of course you can do it. Just like you could drink the Slim Fast, give up breakfast and lunch, and lose the 8 pounds like you did in 1993. So I love my mom, I trust my mom, that's all I needed. I set my path, I left Virginia, I went down to Fort Benning. This is 2008 going into 2009. So I went to infantry school for 3 months, became infantry. I went straight to airborne after that for 3 weeks. I was the honor graduate of airborne school. I was like, oh wow, this is pretty cool. Next I'm going to RIP, the Ranger Indoctrination Program. I'm still the fat kid from 1993, 3rd grade Slim Fast kid in my heart, in my mind. So Bob Scholl's in my head, my little football coach, enthusiasm, you could do it, my mom's there, optimism, thinking about my family with my heart. I got the love, I have the drive. So I set my path, I go to RIP. It's 4 weeks of torture. Somehow, some way, people there, they voted me as their leader. I broke some records with the physical fitness there, won a physical fitness award. And then I was the distinguished honor graduate of my class. So now, kind of like, all right, this is pretty cool. Move on to the next phase. I have two more courses to do, and then I'm in the 75th Ranger Regiment. I made it to the Chicago Bulls. So next class, I start. It's a 2-month-long process. Call my mom right before the last iteration of 10 days of field training exercise. I said, hey, I got 10 days here. I'll come back. Little Christmas leave for 7 days, and then one last school. During that time, she passed away. I'm gonna cry, because I'm gonna give you a piece of my heart being here. My mom was my best friend. Every day since then. I don't have post-traumatic stress disorder. I have post-traumatic stress order, and that's because I have a strong foundation of family, community, integrity, and accountability, filled with love. Now, I am that little 3rd grader Slim Fast kid. However, if my heart's filled with love and optimism, I can do it. Anything I can put my mind to, and that's what I hope to share with you guys here today. If I can do anything, so can you. I came home, I buried my mom. 7 days later, I went back to Ranger School. I caught up with the guys that I had to not be with because I went home to bury my mom. Went home to St. Charles, it was in December 2009. Went back, caught up to them in Dahlonega Mountains. I showed up, February, took a knee, never forget it. They said, what are you doing here? I said, let's finish this school. I cried every day as soon as it got dark. It's all outside, 62 days. Graduated, a little bit in shock, did it, saw the light, really wanted to mourn. I wanted to come home. My mom's my best friend. So all that reassurance felt kind of dark, lost. Made it to 75th Ranger Regiment. So everything I had worked for now I'm there. My body, my mind, my heart, my soul, I feel like nothing. Show up, they look at my record. Oh, you're the honor graduate. You're the PT award winner. You're the leadership award winner. You got a great record. I feel like nothing. I just want to cry. I want to go home. So they said, you're going to Alpha Company. You're going to meet them out in Kalat. It's 2010. 2 weeks later, I ship right out. I meet them out there. They've been in the war since 2001, kicking doors down. Amazing people. I mean, special. I can't explain it. They're not going to be in the newspapers, and you're not going to see them like they are in the movies. When I tell you they're just amazing and unreal. So then I got out there. All right, I'm on the Bulls. Next night out, I'm going out on helicopters and their systems, everything, learning everything, like drinking kerosene out of a fire hose, scared out of my mind, just thinking of my mom, my grandparents, everybody that I love back home, the YMCA, everything. I just want to come home. Still going on, shoving it down, thinking it's the honorable, admirable thing to do to suck it up and drive on. I miscalculated a couple things. during that time. Sucked it up, sucked it up. Got back from Kalat, did a bunch of crazy stuff. Now we're in another training cycle. Another training cycle comes up and they say, hey, you've earned a team. You're gonna be in charge of a gun team leader and we're gonna make you a master breacher. So now I'm running this monkey ship, this space monkey ship, going high, just feeling like, wow, I can do anything, but I'm shutting down all these emotions. I'm pushing them back, pushing them down, pushing them down. And like I said, I'll get back around to the foundation of this conversation, of why I'm here to speak. So I go back out. We're going on Team Merrill. It's 2011. Team Merrill. Merrill's Marauders. If you look back into some World War II history, they're heroes. They were from some of the first in Southeast Asia to go over there. So we're called Team Merrill. We're going on a big deployment. I'm a master breacher for my platoon. I have a team. Still nervous. During the training cycle, I tried to quit. I couldn't get my mind off my mom. I didn't feel safe. I had younger guys that I was in charge of. Couldn't act like that, where my mind is one place and my body's in another, about to go there on Team Merrill, and we have a big job to do. And everybody knew what job we were going to do. 2011. If you look back in your history, that's when Osama bin Laden was taken. So we knew we were the spearhead for the whole operation. But still, I just missed my mom. That was there. So I tried to quit. I went up to my platoon sergeant. I tried to have integrity and accountability, and I said, look, this is everything I wanted, and I want to be here, and I know this is the last thing you want to hear, but I can't get my mind off my mom. So he looks at me. He's a 10-year veteran. When I tell you he's Captain America, this guy, Captain America, and he's the real one. Just like you would watch in a movie, but he's real. And he looks at me, and he says, I'm getting divorced. I don't know if I'm going to see my baby girl ever again, but we have a job to do. So let's go to training. Let's carry it out. So we sucked it up. We went. I'm on Team Merrill, carrying out mission after mission after mission, night after night, raiding houses, coming off a helicopter, going in. Still just the slim fast kid from St. Charles Street. I break down. I finally just couldn't do it. I'm on march one night, last in the pile, and an IED goes off near me, a command edit one, rocked my head. At that point, they sent me home. I just couldn't hack it anymore. Went into a little bit of shock, didn't know it at all. Got out of the Army, came home, was with my grandparents for a little bit, started training people out of the park as soon as I came home. Didn't want to hit the bar, didn't want to hit the substance abuse like a lot of veterans do. Didn't want to go that route. So I just started training people. I said, hey, if you come to the park, I'll train you. It was free. And then the next month, there was 100 people there. This is in 2012. So I opened a little spot in Springfield on Baltimore Pike. It was 1,000 square foot. Then it got way too filled up. There's all sorts of people just like you. They're all like you. They're not anything crazy, just like me, just like a slim fast kid, 1993, it's got to lose 10 pounds. That just never stopped. Carry on from 2012 to now. I had 2 gyms. I had a full-time guy. I got married. I have a child. I have another one on the way this October, and my mother-in-law might actually walk in with my daughter right now, so I'm anticipating it. And it makes me, with my daughter here, it makes me feel like I have my mother back. So I have a piece of my heart back. Like, I had to come home and just come back to love, come back to family, come back to community, come back to integrity, accountability. And my greatest mistake, that miscalculation, I knew when I got there that my heart, my mind, and my body, it shouldn't have been there. I knew that. And I thought sucking it up was the admirable, honorable thing to do. And some would debate that. Some would. But in the long run, in the residual effect, it had those residual effects that were miscalculated, very miscalculated. So coming up here, being allowed to speak to all of you, being a business owner that's foundation is family, community, integrity, and accountability, it'd be so wrong for me to come up here and not tell you my miscalculations of how I operate. We made it through the pandemic. I had 2 gyms. One closed down. We consolidated. We're still up and running now. First thing I do every morning, I'm the first one there at 3:30 a.m. There's all sorts of people there, such a strong network. I wouldn't be up and running today if it wasn't for those people staying strong next to me. Families in the community, and that's all it is. And this, you know, some people ask me, there's TD Bank here, I was sitting next to you guys, really nice meeting you. Some big sponsors here, and my wife's uncle actually owns the country club. So really big sponsors and support here. But everybody that knows how I conduct myself, this is me. They ask me like, hey, who's your investors? And my investor is people, right? People in my community. That's who I've always invested in. That's who I've always fought for, always. Giving up a piece of my heart overseas, it wasn't easy, and that's a sacrifice that myself and everybody should be, you know, that's the sacrifice. So that's a piece of our heart that we give to you, and that's what we bring back here. And like I said, it circles back around to St. Charles Street, to Delaware County, at the community level, at the municipal level, then outward, then the state, then the federal. So I'll leave it at that. As far as, you know, if you're conducting business, I'm a business owner. If you don't have your family first, and if you're conducting business, if family's not the first priority, then all that precedence is out the window. And then if community doesn't come second, I'd say that precedence is out of order. I don't have a lot of platform time here, but that's what I'm going to say. If you're conducting business and family's not the first precedence, it's out of order. If it's not community second, I say it's out of order, right? And then I'd say if you don't have integrity, you have no accountability. And if you have no accountability after the 1.5 years we just all been in, you know, what do we have? We have nothing. We're not together. This was a very, very warm atmosphere to be in. Hearing everybody speak, that made it feel even warmer. So thank you for your integrity. You could feel it. You know if someone's speaking with their heart and if they're not. You can just look up here and know. You don't see anybody. So that's all I wanted to say with my time up here at Delaware County Chamber of Commerce. And you guys do so much for the community. Go meet people. Go get a feeling from, go make direct contact now that we can, and let's just keep it at that. I think if we keep to those foundations and those pillars, then everything else should go and funnel in the right direction. But if we get outside of family, community, integrity, and optimism, then we're probably going in a direction that's not sustainable. That's all I got. And I'll leave it on this. This is very special. We're all privileged, and you should all be honored just to be in this room. And I was a part of something very special. But when you're a part of something special, it doesn't mean you're special. It's just what you do during that time in those special moments. So thank you for having me up here. Thank you for letting me share my story with you. I hope you get a little bit more love and drive in your heart from your family and community from hearing me speak. And that's all I got. So thank you so much.
Thank you so much. And as Thomas said in his opening remarks, that Mrs. Judge is my mom. So my mom saw the email that comes out, the emails that the chamber sends out, and she sent me a text. She said, "Is that Thomas DeVitro from St. Charles?" I said, "Mom, I don't know. I haven't met him, but I'll ask him." So the first time I met, I said, "Hi, I'm Trish. Did you know St. Charles?" And then, so it was very emotional. So my mom really wanted to be here and to be able to see Thomas and the great work he's done. So thank you. Thank you for sharing your story. It's truly remarkable and amazing. And what a way to officially close our 2020-2021 year. Let's take that inspiration and hope with us as we embark on our next normal and face the challenges of the new chamber year. Again, I want to thank all of our sponsors. That you'll see the sponsor slide up on the board. And thank you for being a part of the chamber community and helping us to grow and remain relevant. We are grateful for you and all that you do. Have a fantastic summer. Be well and drive safe. Thank you.